Hari Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Hiranyagarbhaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Om Shri Mahadevaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahadurgaye Namaha. Om Shri Rama Ramaya Namaha. Om Shri Sadgurave Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakrito Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharyamध्यमाम् Asmadacharyaparyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Shankaram Paramanandam Brahmanishtam Yatishwaram Bhashya Bhrantiharam Vande Shuddhajnanaikabodhakam. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Namah Parvati Pataye, Har Har Mahadeva. Hari Om, Hari Om. We'll begin with the Shanti Mantra. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshushrotramatho Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahmopanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Ma Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranamastva Nirakaranam Me Astu Tadatmani nirateyopanishatsu dharmaha te mayi santu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. We'll chant from mantra number 3, section 8. Ashana pipase me somya vijani hiti yatre tat purusho ashishi shati nama apa eva tad ashitam nayante tad yatha gonayah ashvanayah purushanayah ittevam tad apa achakshate ashanaya iti tatra etashungam utpatitam somya vijanihi nedam amulam bhavishyati iti tasya kva moolam syad anyatra annad evameva khalu somya anneva shungena apaha moolam anviccha adhi somya shungena tejo moolam anviccha tejasa somya shungena sanmoolam anviccha sanmoolah somya ima sarva praja sad ayatanaah sat pratishthaah. So in the previous sections, the teacher revealed the very source of this world as Brahma. From Brahma alone, this world has come into existence through the various process of Panchikaranam, Trivritkaranam, all the way from Hiranyagarbha, Vaishvanara, all the devatas, the plants, animal, birds, and human beings, all are born from that supreme Brahma, indicated as Sat. In other Upanishad, it is indicated as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So after pointing out the nature of that Brahma, which is different from the nature of the world which we experience, means the world as we experience the name and form, they express some other characteristics. The world is asatyam, jadam, parichinnam. But the root cause of this world is satyam, jnanam, anantam. So everything in this world, if you trace back to that source, is Brahma. Even this body, if we trace back its source, it is Brahma. Not only our stula sharir, but sukshma sharir also. If we trace back, their cause, ultimate cause is Brahma. So Brahma is present everywhere. Brahma is present in this world, and Brahma is present in me as myself. So that I, who is the real core and essence of this personality, is actually Brahma. So I experience myself free from all upadhis in the Sushupti Avastha, so that I, free from all upadhis, free from all conditionings, is that Sat, Brahma alone. The teacher also points out that how we can trace back the source of our body, our physical body, as well as the Sukshma Sharir to Brahma. So this body which we have, the physical body, is made up of food only. So this we can understand by analyzing our hunger and thirst. So the teacher says, I will tell you the, the, the secret of hunger and thirst. So when we are hungry, we eat food. That food gets converted into liquid, into juice, accompanied with water. That food is carried to different parts of the body to give it nourishment. Therefore, the water is indicated in the Shastra as the carrier of food. Just as we have the cowherd boy who leads the cows, the horseman leads the horses, the commander or the king leads the men. Similarly, this water leads the food. So this body is born from food, and that food is born from water. So water is the cause of this body. Because it cannot be without a cause. The body cannot be without a cause. So tasya kwa moolam syat. What is the cause of this body? If one inquires in this way, then it cannot be anything other than food. Anyatra annat evam eva kalu soumya. But this anna, this food which we eat, is also not the ultimate cause. So that also is like a sprout which has got its root in water. So anneva shungena apaha moolam anvicha. So through that anna, we inquire and understand its root as water. But water also changes, the juice also gets evaporated. So what is the source of that water? If one inquires, then the source of water is teja, fire or heat. So adbis somya shungene tejaha moolam anvicha. And again, that teja also keeps on changing. So if we inquire into the source of this teja with the help of the Shastras, we come to understand that the root cause of this teja is that Sat Brahma. So Tejasa Somya Shungena Sanmoolam Anvichas. And once we understand that Sat, then what is the cause of Sat? There is no cause for Sat, it is causeless cause. It is the ultimate cause. Because in that Sat there are no traces of the effect. And no change happens in that Sat. Therefore, it is the ultimate cause. In the world also, in the field of science, they try to find out the cause of this world. But through their research, they come to some penultimate cause only. Because what is considered as cause also changes, then it is not the ultimate cause. Similarly, if we trace back the root cause of this, what is the root cause of this world? Through various stages, we arrive finally at Sat Brahma as the root cause. So Sanmula Somya Ima Sarva Prajaha. So all that is created, all the beings, they are Sanmula. They have the root cause as Sat. And Sat Ayatanaha, and even when they are manifested, they are present, they exist on Sat only. Just as the pot exists supported by clay, similarly all beings exist supported by Sat. And Sat Pratishtaha, and ultimately they merge back into Sat. When everything goes into Pralay, it again goes back into Sat. Shankaracharya ji very beautifully in his commentary analyzes this mantra, and he says, let us read the commentary, few sentences. कि तस्य क्व मूलं स्यात् अन्यत्र अन्नाद् अन्नं मूलम् इति अभिप्रायः. So what is the root of this body? Body is like a sprout. Just as in a kitchen also we soak some seeds and all in water, and then it sprouts. So there is a root and there are those little sprouts which come. So this body, physical body is like a sprout. So what is the root? If we inquire, then the anna is the food alone is the root. From food alone this body has come. Katham, how? See, ashitam hi annam adbihi dravikrutam jatharena agnina pachamanam rasabhavena parinamate. Shankaracharya writes that the food which we eat gets disintegrated, means it gets separated, becomes juice, and accompanied with water, and also the fire in our stomach, the heat in our stomach. It gets liquidy, and it goes to different parts of the body and gets digested there. So dravikrutam jatharena agnina pachamanam rasabhavena parinamate, converted into rasa through the heat of the stomach and the liquid water also, and it goes to nourish the body. So rasat shonitam, from that rasa, blood is also created, blood is also formed. So from the food which we eat, juices which we eat, drink, it nourishes and makes our blood. So shonitat mamsam, it also nourishes the mamsa, the muscles of our body. And mamsat medaha, and through the muscles they also nourish the fat. And medasaha astini, and through the fat it further nourishes and strengthens our bones. And through the bones it nourishes the bone marrows. So astibhyaha majja, and majjaya shukram, and in the bone marrows then the very essence of the body and all is created, the various enzymes and all are created, and finally also the through this food only, through various the stages in a man, the semen also gets created, which then will give rise to a new body. Tatha yoshid bhuktam cha annam rasadikrameneva evam parinatam lohitam bhavati. In the same way, when a woman eats the food through these various stages of juice and then blood and nourishing the muscles and the fat and the bones and the bone marrow, etc., it also gets converted into the eggs in the woman, And tabhyam shukra shonitabhyam, and through the combination of this semen and the egg, means the sperm and the egg of the woman, means the parents in the mother's womb, the combination of the semen and the egg happens. So tabhyam shukra shonitabhyam anna karyabhyam, which is the result of anna, food which is eaten by the parents, sanyuktabhyam, by the combination of these two, annena evam prati aham bhujyamanena apuryamanaabhyam kundyam iva mritpindaihi prati aham upachiyamanaha annamulo deha shungam parinishpannam ityartah. This body is born. Just as we create, we may build walls with mud or clay, similarly, slowly this body gets built up in the mother's womb, and the body is created along with all its limbs, and also slowly in various stages, which are also described in Garbho Upanishad. The fetus grows, and the limbs grow, and also the pranas, pancha pranas also become active, and the indriyas and the antakarana also start getting expressed. So in this way, this body which we are experiencing, even after its birth from the mother's womb, it continues to be nourished by food which we eat, and it keeps growing and changing, transforming. So the root of this body is the food which we eat. But the food itself is not the ultimate cause of this body. कि यत्तु देह शुंगस्य मूलम अन्नम निर्दिष्टम तद अपि देहवद विनाश उत्पत्ति मत्वात्. So even food, it grows, it changes, it transforms. Body also changes. So the food itself is also not the ultimate cause, it is also an effect. So the cause of this food is water. So the food is like a sprout and the water is the root. Kasmat chit mulat utpatitam shungam eva iti कृत्वा आह यथा देह शुंगः अन्नमूल एवं एव खलु सौम्य अन्नेन शुंगेन कार्यभूतेन आपः मूलम्. So the anna, the effect of food is this water, this body, and the effect of water is that food. So in this way, again, if we trace back the root of water, it is the heat, which absorbs that water, evaporates that water. So adbihi somya shungena karyena karanam tejaha moolam anvicha. So inquire and understand teja as the root of water. So this is just a method of thinking which is presented here to make us understand that though there are a lot of penultimate causes in between, but the ultimate cause of everything is Sat. So Tejasaha api vinashaha utpatti matvat, because Tej also changes, it is born, it dies. Therefore, it is not the ultimate cause. So the cause of this Teja ultimately is San Moolam Ekameva Advitiyam Paramartha Satyam. The root cause of Teja is that Sat, which is the Paramartha Satyam. Paramartha Satyam is the absolute reality, which doesn't change, which doesn't undergo any modification, any change, which doesn't have any traces of the effect or the characteristic of the effect. Therefore, it is the ultimate cause of everything. So, yasmin sarvamidam vacharambhanam vikaro namadhyayam. And all this effect are nothing but vacharambhanam only. They are just a form having a name as their expression. So when we say a pot, that pot is just a name which is we use for our vyavahar, for transaction. If we just shift our attention from the form and the name, what is the essence of this pot? The essence of this pot is clay only. Similarly, all that we experience in this world for our transaction, our body, mind, intellect, the world outside, is just a form having different names which are utilized in our transactions. They have that what you call vyavaharik satta. They have their what you call transactional reality. But the ultimate reality, the supreme reality behind everything is that Sat Brahma alone. So therefore Shankaracharya calls that Sat Brahma as Paramartha Satyam. And all this is just a vikar, a modification. And it doesn't have a separate existence. Just as when we look at a rope, it appears like a snake. There is no snake. There is no separate snake existing there. It is the rope alone which is appearing like a snake. But sometimes, due to ignorance, we consider that snake itself as a separate, independent entity, which is wrong, which is adhyas, which is our false knowledge. Similarly, this world, if we consider it as a separate entity, separate from that Sat Brahma, without recognizing and acknowledging the Sat Brahma, if we just look at this world as an independent existing phenomena, then that is wrong. That is due to our ignorance. We are having this notion of an independent world. Just as a person mistakes a rope for a snake, similarly, due to ignorance, we mistake this world, which is actually Brahma, as an independent existing phenomena without acknowledging the presence of Brahma. See, when we don't acknowledge the presence of Brahma, then whatever we see and understand is wrong only, is false. Just as if we don't acknowledge the presence of clay and just we talk about this pot, then that pot is false. Pot is false means the understanding of that pot in my mind is false. Because this pot cannot exist without clay. And the pot should not be understood without clay. That's what Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji gives the same example here. He said, Nahi mrud manashritya ghatadehe satvam stitirvasti. He said, without that clay, there is no existence of a pot. Ataha mrudvat san mulatvat prajanam sad ayatanam. Similarly, all this world is having the sat as its ayatanam, its support. That is very important. This is a very important thing which we have to understand. The world which we see has to be understood as expression of Brahma. If that understanding we have, then we are seeing the world correctly. But if we don't acknowledge the presence of Brahma and consider the world as an independent entity, then that is false knowledge. That is adhyasa, which is wrong and which causes all trouble, all problem. So ata mrut sat mulatvat prajanam sad ayatanam. So the sat, Brahma, is the ayatanam, the support of this world. Yasam ta sad ayatanaha prajaha ante sat pratishtaha, and they're born from sat and finally merges back into sat and also supported by sat. So that is what is revealed here. So when we look at this world, we have to recognize this world as supported and manifested from that Brahma alone, and that Brahma is present in this world. Again, when we look at our own Sthula Sharir and Sukshma Sharir, we should know that this Sthula Sharir and Sukshma Sharir are expression of that Brahma alone. And even if we focus our attention of my own experience as I am, that I am is also the expression of Sat Brahma. So in this way, the Upanishad ties down everything and focuses our attention on that Sat Brahma. Everything is Sat Brahma alone. Other than Brahma, nothing is there. Like in other Upanishad, it is said, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Everything is Brahma. Ishavasyamidam Sarvam Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagata. Everything is pervaded by that Ishvara alone. In Kaivalya Upanishad, it is said, Mayyeva Sakalam Jatam, Mai Sarvam Pratishtitam, Mai Sarvam Layam Yati, Tad Brahma Advayam Asmi Aham. That from me, I, that Brahma alone, everything is born, everything is sustained in me, and everything merges back into me. That I am that Brahma. So we have to shift our attention from seeing ourselves in this world from a limited standpoint. We have to sit in that Brahma and look as though seated in Brahma we should look. See, the object remaining same, it is experienced differently from a different standpoint. From the Jiva standpoint, the world appears different. An ignorant Jiva, he looks at this world and thinks that I am different, this world is different. An enlightened Jiva also sees the same world but knows that everything is my own self alone. And in that Brahma, when one realizes that Brahma transcends all the upadhis, in that Brahma there is no world, there are no jivas. In Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter also Bhagavan reveals this thing very beautifully. He says that Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavvyaktamurtina. So first he tells Arjuna that, hey, look at this world and I alone pervade this world. In my unmanifest expression, I pervade this entire world. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina. Matstani sarva bhutam. And the whole world exists in me. the whole world exists in me. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavvyaktamurti namastani sarvabhutani nachaham teshu vastitaha. But I don't exist in the world, means I don't exist in the form which is changing. I don't change. The form gets destroyed, I don't get destroyed. So I don't exist there in the name and form. And in me, in my supreme nature, the world doesn't exist. Nachamasthani bhutani pashyame yogameshwaram. All the 4 stages of understanding Bhagavan reveals in that Bhagavad Gita. The first stage is when we look at this world, we should understand that Sat Brahma alone is present in this world. Though it is not seen, the world is pervaded by that Sat Brahma. Once we comprehend this, we should then understand the whole world actually exists in Sat Brahma. Then we should know that the world depends on Brahma, but Brahma doesn't depend on the world. Means Brahma is present in the world, but world is not present in Brahma. In that supreme Brahma, there is no world, there are no jivas, there is nothing which is created. Only that Sat Brahma alone is there. Na kaschit jayate jivaha sambhavo yasyana vidyate etat tad uttamam satyam yatra kinchinna jayate. In Mandukya Karika also, it is revealed that this is the Uttam Satya, the ultimate truth, where nothing is born. Nothing is born means nothing is born in Brahma. When we are seated in Brahma, then in me nothing is born. But before we reach that stage, we have to walk from where we are. We identify with our body, we see this world, we experience a Dvaita, duality. So we have to take our journey from duality and arrive at Advaita. In duality, just talking about Advaita will not help us. Many people seated in ignorance, seated in adhyas, they talk about the final reality. Just talking about that will not help us. We have to move from where we are. If we want to reach Mount Everest, we have to start from where we are. If we are in Delhi, we have to start from here. We have to go near the Himalayas. We have to go to the base camp and slowly start climbing. If in Delhi itself we start talking about having reached Mount Everest, then I will be a totally foolish person only. Similarly, we have to approach the ultimate reality step by step, following the guidance given to us by our Shastras. So here also the teacher says that you think properly and understand the body which you are experiencing and the Sukshma Sharir which you are experiencing. If you trace back that source, it is Sat Brahma alone. So after talking about how to trace back to the source through our hunger, now the teacher tells us how to trace back to our source through thirst, because he had said that I will tell you about hunger and thirst and their secret. So now in this 5th mantra, the teacher reveals the thinking process which we should have to understand and trace back our thirst all the way to Sat Brahma. So let us chant mantra number 5. Atha yatra etat purushah pipasati nama तेज एव तत्पीतं नयते तद्यथा गोनायः अश्वनायः पुरुषनाय इत्येवं तत्तेज आचष्ट उदन्येति तत्र एतदेव शृङ्गम् उत्पतितं सौम्य विजानीहि नेदम् अमूलं भविष्यति इति. Once more. अथ यत्र एतत् पुरुषः पिपासति नाम तेज एव तत्पीतं नयते तद्यथा गोनायः अश्वनायः पुरुषनायः इत्येवं तत्तेज आचष्ट उदन्येति तत्र एतदेव शुङ्गम् उत्पतितं सौम्य विजानीहि नेदम् अमूलं भविष्यति इति. अथ now the teacher says yatra etat purusha pipasati. Now let us trace back our thirst. Because when we interact with this world, we consume things through our senses, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, through our senses, eating, drinking, thinking, feeling. These are all our experiences. Whether we call ourselves human being or even animal, birds, plant, they have similar type of experiencing. Seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, thinking, feeling, sleeping, getting frightened, reproducing, sleeping. So through these experiences and through our thinking process, we can trace back everything to that Sat Brahma. Not only the material world we can trace back to Sat Brahma, but all the actions and all the transformations which are happening, those can also be traced back to Brahma. So everything is Sat Brahma alone. The Nama, the Rupa, and all the Kriyas, ultimately they are all Sat Brahma alone. So here the teacher says, let us analyze the thirst. So when a person becomes thirsty, his name becomes a thirsty person. So atha yatra etat purushaha, this person, pipasati nama, he gets the name that, oh, a thirsty person. Then what happens? Tej eva tat pitam nayate. What happens? The water which he has drunk before is taken by the heat. The heat actually evaporates the water, means the heat takes away the water, and then we feel thirsty. We want to drink more water. So teja eva tat pitam nayate. So the water which we drink is again taken by teja. So constantly we drink water, and continuously the teja, the heat, takes the water away. It carries that water. So teja eva tat pitam nayate. Just as tat yatha, same example the teacher gives, tat yatha gonayah, just like a cowherd boy leads the cows, or ashwanayah, or like a horseman lead the horses, or purushanaya, or like a king or a commander leads the person, man. In the same way, iti evam tat teja achashta udanye iti. Similarly, the teja, because it leads water, it is called udanya, the leader of water. It takes the water. See, in a very beautiful, in a very, which we can visualize also, the whole mechanism of our hunger, thirst, etc. are described here, which are eternally, which can be understood. See, in every culture, in every period of history, we describe the world, we have our own language, we have our own words which we create to describe certain things. And sometimes those words get restricted within a certain circle only. Even now in modern times, even in your own family, the language which your own children, what they are speaking, you might not understand. They use certain terms and all which you may not have heard before. Certain terms which we were using in our good old days they get a different meaning and different shades in modern times. So language, they have their own evolution and own limitations also. So here in a very, very simple language of which we can visualize, because it becomes easier for us to understand things if we can visualize it. So here the teacher is saying that just like you imagine a cowherd boy leading cow to graze, or a horseman leading the horses, or a commander or a king leads the men towards various activities. In the same way, the heat is there in our body, which is the expression of fire. And that is what we measure as our temperature and all. So that heat which is there in our body, in our stomach, when we drink water, that heat evaporates that water, or whatever liquid we have consumed is evaporated by water. And through the process of evaporation, it also nourishes the various parts of the body. So tat teja, therefore this teja is called the leader of water. So tat teja achashta udanya iti. Tatra etad eva shungam utpatitam. So from this fire alone, this body is ultimately created. So first it was said the cause of this body is anna. Thereafter it was said the cause of this body is water. Now it is said the cause of this body is fire. So these are all the penultimate causes. So tatra etad eva shungam utpatitam somya vijanihi. Because na idam amulam bhavishyati iti, because the body cannot be without a cause. Since it is undergoing modification, undergoing change, it is an effect. And if it is an effect, it must be having a cause. So that is how we look at this world also. If we see anything which undergoes change, undergoes modification, it doesn't remain same, then it is not the ultimate cause. It is not the ultimate cause. Even in the field of science, it is slowly trying to understand the origin of this world. They come up with various theories, but then later on these theories also proves to be wrong. So they come up with some new theories. Now latest they think that the whole world has come into existence few billion years ago with a big bang. But now with this telescope which they have sent up in space, the James Webb telescope, and the new discoveries which they are making with this telescope is seeing more and more into the past. So telescope is such a miraculous instrument, when we look through the telescope, we are actually seeing into the past. The more further you see, the more into the past you see. So through the observations which they are having now, they are now doubting even that theory of Big Bang. Many scientists are not very sure whether it is the proper theory, because it is some observations are disproving what they had felt is proper. So in science also they keep trying to find out the root cause, but whatever they find as root cause, that also if it changes, then that is not the root cause. So in Vedanta also, through this beautiful way, the causes are searched. So through this systematically, step by step, and with the help of the Shastras, we come to understand Sat as the ultimate cause. Sat means Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. So when we trace back the thirst, the water, it is taken by heat. So heat is the cause of this body, but that heat itself is not the ultimate cause. It has also come from that Sat, Brahma alone. Now, after revealing the thought process by which we can arrive at this Sat, the gross body was indicated that this physical body, which is made up of food, can be traced back to Sat. But what about the Sukshma Sharir? What about our senses? What about our Antakarana? What about the pranas? In the next mantra, very beautiful mantra, the teacher says that also you can trace back to Sat. It's the most fascinating mantra. We will chant the mantra, and the details we will have to see next time, but we will chant the mantra. Tasya kva moolam syat anyatra adbhyo adbhihi somya shungena tejo moolam anvichya tejasa somya shungena sanmoolam anvichya sanmoolaha somya imaha sarva prajaha sad ayatanaha sad pratishthaha yathanu khalu somya imaha tisro devata purusham prapya त्रिवृत एकैका भवति तत् उक्तं पुरस्तात् एव भवति अस्य सौम्य पुरुषस्य प्रयतो वाङ् मनसि संपद्यते मनः प्राणे प्राणः तेजसि तेजः परस्यां देवतायाम्. Teacher says कि तस्य क्व मूलं स्यात्. What is the root of this water which we drink when we are thirsty? Adbhyo adbhi anyatra adbhyah. What can be the root of this water other than? Sorry, what can be the root of this body other than water? See, first it was said the root of this body is food. Now here it is said the root of the body is water. But that water itself is not the ultimate cause. Adbihi somya shungena tejo moolam anvichya. By inquiry, understand that the water is also an effect and teja is the cause. And tejasa somya shungena san moolam anvichya. And through inquiry, understand the cause of this Teja is Sat, that Sat Brahma. So, Somi ima sarva prajaha sad ayatana. So, in this way, all these beings are born from Sat, Sat Pratishtha. They are sustained by Sat, and ultimately they merge back into Sat. Sat ayatana Sat Pratishtha yathanu khalu Swami ima tisro devata purusham prapya. So teacher says that I have already told you before that how these three devatas, the fire, fire, water and earth, when we consume it, when it enters a human body, how it gets divided into the various organs, various parts. Like the food which we eat, the solid portion is thrown away. The middle portion goes to nourish our body, and the subtlest portion goes to nourish our mind. The water which we eat, the gross portion is eliminated. It becomes urine. It gets eliminated. The middle portion becomes blood, and the subtlest portion goes to nourish the pranas. And the fire which we eat, the gross portion nourishes the bones, and the subtler portion, the bone marrow, and the subtlest portion nourishes the karmendriyas. So ultimately, through food, our sukshma sharir, the jnanendriyas, the karmendriyas, and antakarana, and the pancha pranas, they are also formed and they also get nourished. So what is their source? Where do they ultimately go? Where do they merge? Because if for example, if I have an ornament, I go to the market, I buy an ornament, a nice gold chain, and I wear it, a golden chain. Then I think that, I will just convert it into some other ornament. So I just melt it. When I melt it, then I see that it has melted into silver. So if a gold chain, what I thought was gold chain, has melted into silver, then it was never gold. It was silver only. Because when you melt the effect, it goes into its cause, not into something else. If gold is melted, it will turn into gold. Ornaments are melted, they will turn into gold only. Similarly, when the body gets dissolved, it goes back to its source. But what about our sukshma sharir? What happens when the sukshma sharir gets dissolved? What happens when we die? The teacher says that when we die, that our pranas, our vang, means our speech, means our karmendriyas, they get absorbed in the mind. Then the mind gets absorbed in the pranas. So vang manasi sampadyate. Purushasya prayatah vang manasi sampadyate. Mana prane. The mind gets absorbed in pranas. And pranaha tejasi. And the prana get absorbed in teja, in heat. And then that heat merges into that parasyam devatayam, in that supreme devata, in that Sat Brahma. It's a very interesting description here of our death also. The stages with which a person leaves this body and becomes one with that supreme Brahma. Shankaracharya writes in his commentary that if we have gained knowledge, then we become one with Brahman, not to be born again. But if we are ignorant, then we will be born again. So it's a very interesting portion which we will see in our next class. Next class we will have on Monday, on 7th of November. We will have the next class, because on Saturday and Sunday I am having a special 2 days sessions which also you can attend. These are 2 days sessions on Vibhishan Gita. It's a very interesting portion from Sri Ramacharita wherein Bhagwan Sri Ramchandraji gives Upadesh to Vibhishan on the essence of dharma using the metaphor of a chariot. So I will be speaking on that portion on Saturday and Sunday. 4 sessions we will have. So Saturday 12 to 1:30 in the afternoon, and then evening 5 to 6:30. Then again on Sunday 12 to 1:30 p.m. and then evening 5 to 6:30. I have given the link on my Facebook page. So you can go, you can register on that site. So it is organized by Advaita Academy, the Indica Moksha group. So they will what you call also publish it in their channel, YouTube channel. You can see it live also, and also you can participate in this session through the Zoom application. And also I will also live stream on my Facebook page. So whichever is convenient to you, you can participate, you can join. If you are joining through Zoom, you can also ask questions. So we will have these talks, and also 15 minutes will be given for questions and answers. So it's a very interesting portion from Ramayana. So that will be on Saturday and Sunday. So I think we will just give a break for our regular class of this Friday. So Friday we will not have our Upanishad class. The next Upanishad class will be on Monday. And the coming Saturday and Sunday we will have Vibhishan Gita. Okay. So today's portion was a little very technical, I think, and might be confusing to some. So you please listen to the pravachan again. So take care of yourself, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, to your work, to your sadhana. Listen to the pravachan again. Think about it. And we will meet again for Upanishad on Monday. But before that, for Vibhishan Gita on Saturday. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, 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 Jaya Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. बोलिए सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरि ओम.